Last time on Blazers Uprise.
Okay, so we get Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, and a second-round pick, Eric.
And Keon Johnson.
Colum got traded along with Larry Nance Jr., and the Blazers got back Josh Hart, as well as the Pelicans' first-round pick. What's going on, everyone? Welcome into the Portland Trail Blazers funeral. The Blazers today lose the Pelicans pick. We traded CJ McCollum, Norman Powell, Robert Covington, and Larry Nance Jr. for Josh Hart, Justice Winslow, Keon Johnson, and the 2025 Milwaukee first. And the only meaningful asset we got back was one freaking role player. How the hell do you do that?
Yes! Let's go! Come on.
Please don't be Portland at 7. I'm taking my headphone out because you're slightly ahead. At 7.
No!
We got screwed.
Yeah,
Why do we have the worst luck? Can we just get one break, please? How hard, how hard is it for good things to happen to this freaking team? But first, boom! Eric was right. Jeremy Grant is a Portland Trailblazer. Jeremy Grant is a Portland Trailblazer, and Joe Cronin did not get fleeced. Joe Cronin won a trade.
2022 NBA Draft. The Portland Trailblazers select Shaedon Sharpe.
There it is.
With the 57th pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the Portland Trailblazers select Jabari Walker.
Yeah, let's go.
University of Colorado.
And the Blazers have signed Gary Payton II to a 3-year, $28 million deal. I don't understand how Cronin watched the struggles the past couple of years with the lack of size and then just decided, you know what, instead of a 3-guard lineup, let's try a 4-guard lineup.
Oh,
Sharp cuts off, spins back. Ooh, that was nice. See, that's the upside right there. A real nice spin back mid-range pull. I like that he kept his confidence, and he gets blown by Jaden Ivey. And he's hurt. Oh no, man. This is your Portland Trail Blazers roster heading into 2022 and 2023. After an eventful offseason, the Blazers headed into the 2022 to 2023 NBA season with some tempered expectations. Here's what we thought of the Blazers going into this season.
I had the same team as Connor, the Blazers.
Alright, you have the Blazers at 9. Well, I have the Blazers at 8. So chat went Trailblazers at 9. Despite the low expectations, we still headed into the season excited. However, the Blazers really struggled in preseason, and this was worrisome for some, and it was no big deal for others. It was also big news for the channel going into the season, as we finally had our first post-game sponsor, which was BetOnline. And this video is also presented by BetOnline, and you can use the promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, for a 50% reward bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts. Now let's see how the season started. Heading into the regular season, the Blazers were 0-3 on opening night in Blazers Uprise history. We had never won on opening night. However, that changed with a win over the Sacramento Kings, which got the Blazers off to a hot start. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Blazers Uprise post-game show presented by BetOnline. This is the first opening night in which the Blazers have won since we started this channel, Eric. We were 0-3 before this, but the Blazers battle in Sacramento, it was a phenomenally played game from both ends. Both teams played like this was a playoff game, and the Blazers go on the road after a dismal preseason, and they take care of business. And now, I feel like everybody's feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. Eric, how are you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm just happy they got the win. It was a pretty intense game, it felt like, for game 1 between the Kings and the Blazers. Almost had like a playoff type atmosphere with these two teams, thinking they're both should be thought of higher than they are. And I'm just glad the Blazers found a way to get it done at the end. And yeah, pretty exciting game, especially since we won.
Hey, we get to focus on an opening night stream, man, where the Blazers took care of business. You had Shaden Sharp making his debut and looking good. Given his backstory, goes into a playoff atmosphere on the road. 3 for 3 from 3. 4 for 6 from the field. Has 12 points in 16 minutes and defensively was solid. Damian Lillard, 20 points on 18 shots, 5 for 18 from the field, 8 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 for 8 from the three-point line. His three-point shot didn't fall, but 9 for 9 from the free throw line. At least he got to the charity stripe. And people will say, oh, he's washed. He looked like he had no burst left. I do think he was a little bit bothered by that play that happened like right at the start of the game, unfortunately. He had a preseason game. I think it was the second game, and it was like the second night of a back-to-back, but he looked quicker than he did tonight. He looked like he had burst, and he had a interview lately where he said, yeah, I know I'm back because I can get wherever I want, whenever I want. Like, it was a situation where I think that might have bothered him slightly, but then also Sacramento was just hounding him, man. They were sending 3 bodies. They played good defense to shut him down. And Dame's had games like this in the past, but they've happened in the middle of the season. This is what I've said in the past, too, is like when it happens at the start of the season, everybody freaks out. If it happens in the middle of the season, after they've had some good games earlier in the season, then nobody really thinks twice of it. It's just a bad game. So this type of game I've seen from Dame before, multiple times earlier in his career, when he was young, when he, late 20s, now he's in his early 30s. So I'm not worried long term. It's still a situation where he draws a ton of defensive attention. He didn't shoot the 3-ball well. If he shoots the 3-ball well, goes 3 for 8 from 3 and is 7 for 18 from the field and has 26 points on 18 shots, like all of a sudden it looks like a solid game, right? Nobody's really worried.
Dame gonna hit this. He left
Wide
it
open.
way
Hit
too
that,
open.
baby. Let's go!
Way too open, bro. Way
My
too
guy
open.
is back, baby. 25 in the first. Dude, Dave's back. He ain't
That's
washed.
sick.
Too many people talking shit on him, man. Let's go.
Who said he was washed?
So many people after last game. He had one bad game. People were saying he was washed. Nah. Let's go!
That was beautiful. That was gorgeous, dude.
Let's
CP3
go,
with the ball.
Dame.
Oh,
Damn, bro. That's how you know Dave's back. He hit that
that
shit.
hand
What the
was
hell?
like down. Lillard, crossover, step back. In Shaden Sharp. Point Sharp. Drew a foul, doesn't get
Oh,
it.
body him! Body him! Too big! Baby! Let's go!
Foul
Yeah!
on Mikhail. Booker to the rack and
Drop these racks! Let's go, Ant! Come on, man.
that was clutch.
Gabe, we got a game! What do you call that
That's
one?
a spicy goaltend. Top of the key. He does a Dame move and bricks. It's not even close. It's not even close.
got fouled. Come on, Dame. Let's go.
4 seconds for Dame. He crosses half court. Oh my God, bro. I really didn't want overtime. I didn't. Drops it down to Grant. Grant with the jam.
Good job, Jeremy. Let's go. Oh.
Mikhail almost
Grab it.
with the tip in.
Let's
No
go.
good.
Let's go. Let's go.
No good. Dame.
Ah, if he hit that! Let's go! And that's a 2-for-1. Let's go! Come on.
Don't pass out on me. Dame, free throw. Good. In.
Let's go. Let's go.
And Bridges to Book. Book. Working on Hart.
yeah.
Booker. No good.
Grab it. Let's go. Let's go.
25 seconds
Let's
for
go.
Dame.
Let's go.
Oh.
Let's-
3
come on,
seconds.
Come on,
with
Ants.
Mikhail
It's
on him.
time.
Ant with the hook shot.
Let's go! Let's go, Ants!
Dog, the running hook
The
shot.
running hook! Get a stop, baby. Get a stop.
I'm
Get a
not
stop.
looking
Get
at
a
the
stop.
chat. To Aiden. Aiden blocked by Nurk.
I don't know if that was a foul. That might be something you challenge. I think he got him. Okay.
You realize this.
Let's go!
EA free throw. Back iron.
Let's go!
That was a good ass
Great
game,
dub.
bro.
The number 1 seed from the Western Conference last year, a 64-win team. This was a phenomenally played game. I was live over on Suns Valley podcast doing a live play-by-play stream with my friend Gabe, who's also a Suns fan, and man, we were on the edges of our seats during this game, Eric. It was quite a fun time, man. It was very energetic, to say the least. But Eric, man, the Blazers are 2-0. They get a huge win over a legitimate Western Conference team. They win this game, a game where Dame goes off, has 41 points. He is back. Not worried about him whatsoever. We'll talk about that. Eric, just what's the mood right now, man?
Man, if you would have told me game 2, I'd be up, prancing around, pacing back and forth, yelling after for like the last, few minutes of the fourth quarter and all through overtime. That's crazy, man. Like, this is what I've been waiting for, is to have a team that just plays hard and grinds, and it can be sloppy, you can make mistakes and all that stuff, but you don't give up and you keep the energy out throughout the whole game and you keep powering through it. And it's just fun to watch, man.
Regarding Dame, he's now going to isolate. Step back 3 with a hand in his face. Good. That is dirty. It's a one-possession game. 98-95. Baseline drive. Gets blocked. Nurkic there for the follow-up. One-possession game. Simons drives. Layup good. 36 seconds left. Blazers down 1. Simons, great drive. Great finish. And Lakers going to bring the ball up. Westbrook shoots a mid-range off. 26 on the game clock. Dame with the ball. Blazers with the chance to take the lead. Grant inbound to Dame. Lonnie Walker on him. 20 on the game clock. Dame, step back 3. Good! Good! It's Dame time! Let's go! Let's go, man! The Blazers have the lead. Damian Lillard step back 3, 41 for the second game in a row. Blazers just need to stop. No threes, no fouls. Same situation like at the end of last game. What a hit from Dame. LeBron to the top of the arc. The Blazers switch Nurkic onto him. No fouls. No threes. LeBron drives the lane. Don't know what happened. It's a wide open dunk. Everybody on the Blazers stopped. That was a terrible defensive possession. Dame pinned down Jeremy Grant. Repins down for Dame. Ball into Grant. Grant driving left. Layup. Good. It's Jeremy Grant time. Great drive from Grant. Boy, it's nice to have a power forward. You can't get the ball into Dame. They deny Dame. They enter it into Grant, and he drives middle and gets the layup to go. AD, top of the arc. LeBron goes to the ball. Dame on him. He's going to shoot a mid-range fadeaway. Off! The Blazers win this game! The Blazers win this game. They start off 3-0. The Lakers are 0-3. The Blazers beat them on their home floor. What a win. What a comeback. I don't know how we won that game. We're here on a Sunday afternoon, and it is a good Sunday because it was Dame time today. It was Dame's day. It was Dame time. 41 points for the second straight game. Eric, people were worried about him after opening night. Bill Simmons said he looked like he lost his burst. Well, I hope Bill Simmons was watching this game because Damian Lillard is back. And as good as ever, man. 41 back-to-back nights. You love to see it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Blazers Uprise post-game show. The Blazers absolutely eviscerate the Denver Nuggets in the third quarter behind 22 points from Anthony Simons, and they get a 135 to 110 point win on the second night of a back-to-back in front of a raucous Moda Center crowd. The Blazers have started 4-0 on this young season for the first time since 1999. Anthony Simons finally got it rolling for the first time this season and absolutely took this game over.
Dude, I didn't think I could ever see someone be that in the zone other than Damian Lillard and Anthony Simons. It was like watching a new version of Dame out there. It was crazy. And the degree of difficulty on some of those shots just felt so good for him to finally get it going.
The Blazers are a problem. After returning and looking like his old self, trouble struck in the Blazers' first loss of the season at home against the Miami Heat as Damian Lillard went down with a calf strain. The following game, the Blazers were able to beat the Houston Rockets, and then they had a tough home test on November 2nd against the Memphis Grizzlies. After being down as much as 17 points in that game, the Blazers came back and tied it late in the fourth quarter. However, the Grizzlies were able to pull away late. While this loss sucked, the fact that the Blazers could be competitive at home against the Grizzlies team without Damian Lillard was promising for the rest of the season, and the Blazers would have some more shorthanded performances coming up. After this Memphis game, the Blazers embarked on a 6-game road trip. It looked like Damian Lillard wouldn't play at all on the road trip, and there were some tough matchups. 2 games against the Phoenix Suns, 1 against the Miami Heat, 1 against the New Orleans Pelicans, and 1 against the Dallas Mavericks. In the first game of the trip, without both Damian Lillard and Anthony Simons, the Blazers were able to upset a healthy Phoenix Suns team behind a Jeremy Grant mid-range buzzer beater.
We have more. Yeah, what the hell is that? Oh.
Please God no. 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 Please God no.
That's definitely a foul.
Yeah!
Wow.
Let's go! Yeah, let's go! It counts, baby!
They waved it.
No, they didn't. They did not. It counts, baby.
Oh, I thought the refs called a foul. Wow.
I thought they called it too.
I thought they called a foul on the floor.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Yeah!
And while the Blazers would lose the following night against the Suns, they would have some more late game magic coming. In a fourth quarter that saw the Blazers down 7 to 10 points throughout most of it, the Blazers fought back in Miami. They managed to get a 3-point lead with 8 seconds left, and then following a Max Strus 3 to tie the game, the Blazers rushed the ball down the court, and this time it was a different starting Blazers forward that got the buzzer beater. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Blazers Uprise post-game show, presented by Bet Online. Miami gets a heartbreaker tonight. Another buzzer beater win for your Portland Trail Blazers as they complete a miraculous comeback in Miami. Down 15 at one point, look dead in the water, and the Blazers fight. They come back. They hit a buzzer-beating 3. Josh Hart gets a pass from Damian Lillard in the corner, knocks down the heartbreaker. 10 games in, we've already had 2 buzzer-beater 3s by our 2 starting forwards. What in the world is going on? The Blazers were now 2-1 on this trip, would pick up a win to go to 3-1 against the Charlotte Hornets, and then without Lillard and Yusuf Nurkic, the Blazers got an impressive road win against a healthy New Orleans team that had Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, and CJ McCollum. The Blazers were now 9-3, they were competing defensively, and at this point, I dropped this video. The Portland Trail Blazers are contenders, if they fix one thing. What the Portland Trail Blazers are doing this season is extremely impressive. Sitting at 9-3, including a 6-1 record on the road, the Blazers have had one of the hardest schedules in the league, and have home victories over the Phoenix Suns and Denver Nuggets, and are currently in the midst of a 4-1 road trip with victories over the Suns, Heat, and Pelicans. Damian Lillard has missed 5 games, and Anthony Simons, Yusuf Nurkic, and Trendon Watford have missed multiple games as well, but that has not made a difference. After being a bottom 3 defense the past 2 seasons, the Blazers have been elite on that side of the floor, and that's without their prized defensive acquisition in Gary Payton II, who was supposed to come in and fix things. The Blazers have figured out the defense anyway. What good times those were. As right after this, the Blazers started to struggle. They fell to 4-2 on the 6-game road trip with a loss in Dallas, which saw Drew Eubanks playing late in the game against a small ball Dallas lineup that carved him up with 4 shooters around Luka Doncic. This was a coaching mistake by Chauncey Billups that we ranted about. Christian Wood fouls out of this game. That ended up being a good thing for the Dallas Mavericks there down the stretch. They subbed in, who'd you say they subbed in? Reggie Bullock?
Reggie Bullock, and they run Dorian Finney-Smith, Tim Hardaway,
Dinwiddie, Luka, and Bullock.
Yep.
Super small ball lineup, Eric. Meanwhile, Portland has Drew Eubanks, who played 33 minutes tonight, but when the Mavericks go small, with Eubanks playing 30 minutes already, he stays in the game and was absolutely non-existent defensively there on pretty much every one of those threes. Like, the Blazers were giving up wide open 3 after wide open 3 in the final 3 minutes. What is he doing in that game with 3 minutes left against a small ball lineup when he's gassed? And I can't even blame Eubanks. He was the slowest player on the floor, and he's gassed. Like, what do you expect from him? Unfortunately, this wouldn't be the last in terms of late-game questionable decisions that would cost the Blazers games, as after a close win against a struggling San Antonio Spurs team, the Blazers would then lose at home to the Brooklyn Nets, 109-107, after a Royce O'Neal tip-in game winner. There was a reason why Royce O'Neal was able to get a game-winning putback.
Situationally, 6 seconds left, tie ball game. Why is Dame and Ant in the game in that situation? Put your 5 best defenders on the floor. And what do you know? It's Dame and Ant under the basket, and they don't box out Royce O'Neal, and he gets the tip in. Why were they in the game?
During this struggle, Damian Lillard had returned from his calf injury. However, he hadn't looked like his old self. He had some subpar shooting games and didn't have quite the same amount of burst as he did before. This led to a lot of people questioning whether Damian Lillard was washed or could ever play up to the level that he had shown before in his career. Damian Lillard re-aggravated that injury November 19th against the Utah Jazz, and the Blazers would go on to struggle after this. They lost on the road against the Bucks and Cavs, and then got a phenomenal road win against the New York Knicks, 132-129 in overtime. Thus saw Jeremy Grant shoot 28 free throws. However, that wasn't much of a turning point, as then the Blazers would drop 3 more in a row. They lost once again to the Brooklyn Nets, and then had one of the most monumental late-game collapses against the Los Angeles Clippers. And unfortunately, that was a theme this season. The Blazers collapsed tonight. They get outscored 36-17 in the fourth quarter to the Los Angeles Clippers and take yet another loss. 11-10. First off, I think it's obvious at this point that this collection of guys is not cohesive. The problem is, you can't rely on Nasir Little. Shaedon Sharpe, he's going through some of the rookie struggle right now, which is to be expected with a guy like him. Justice Winslow, you surely cannot trust on either side of the basketball right now. You can't really trust Eubanks on the boards or defensively right now. Trayvon Watford, you can't trust on either side of the floor right now. You have too many guys that you can't trust to do something consistently at a decent level right now. After a 128-109 loss to the Los Angeles Lakers to fall to 500 at 11-11, the Blazers did go on a bit of a run. Anthony Simons had a season-high 45 points December 3rd against the Jazz in a 116-111 road win, and the Blazers would win 5 of 6 games, including that Jazz win, a win over the Pacers, back-to-back wins against the Timberwolves at home, and a win over the San Antonio Spurs. The one loss in this game was a 121-120 heartbreaker against the Denver Nuggets, which would have been a huge momentum win and would have given the Blazers a 6-game winning streak had they not dropped this game. The reason for losing this game was due to a Jamal Murray game-winning 3 with under a second left. Unfortunately, the usage of Jeremy Grant was frustrating all season. It was a common theme for me and Eric to rant about, as Grant struggled on guards and struggled to get through screens, and this cost the Blazers numerous times. The Blazers had tried to pigeonhole him into a specific defensive role as an on-ball stopper against any good offensive player. However, we had warned before the season that this wasn't the smartest thing to do. Off the ball, I think he's great. I think he makes the right rotations, makes them quickly, and he can block shots around the rim. I think Jeremy Grant is truly a good team defender that will help the Blazers out just by being in the right position. On the ball, he's a bit of a mixed bag. He certainly has the foot speed to stay in front of a lot of players. I don't think he can consistently guard some of the better guards in the league, like a Zach LaVine, Kyrie Irving, etc. But the issue with Jeremy Grant on the defensive end in regards to putting him up against guards especially, but just stars in general, is star players run a ton of pick and rolls. Jeremy Grant really struggles getting through pick and rolls. The 3 wins after this loss were nice. The Blazers were once again 16-12, but this season was becoming a roller coaster as the Blazers would then lose 4 of 5. This included a blowout loss to the Mavericks, and then included a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander buzzer beater, which was another heartbreaking loss for this Blazers team that had been in a ton of close games. I cannot get over that final freaking defensive possession. I am so tired of our defensive forwards getting cooked on game winners because they play absolutely the dumbest defense possible. Ball gets inbounded to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Where were the other 4 players on the court, Eric? They were up towards half court. They were towards the middle of the court and up towards half court. Where is your help? Your help is up the court and towards the middle. Where does Justice Winslow let Gilgeous-Alexander go? Baseline. And not only that, he gets absolutely cooked, almost face plants, and it's a wide open, patented SGA mid-range jumper for the win. During this time, a big storyline was Damian Lillard passing Clyde Drexler for the all-time franchise scoring leader. He did this on a free throw against the Oklahoma City Thunder and became the Blazers' all-time leading scorer. The Blazers would celebrate that after a 2-day Christmas break after a home win against the Charlotte Hornets. During this time, Gary Payton II kept having his reevaluation day extended. He got the nickname GP 2 weeks, as it seemed like a constant cycle of a reevaluation date in 2 weeks, which would then result in another reevaluation date in 2 weeks. To end off 2022, the Blazers lost in Golden State, but what dominated this game was the storyline of Gary Payton II. Eric Brandt had said that GP2 would return on December 30th against his former team. That didn't end up happening. Here's Eric's story about how things went down.
They expected Gary Payton to be back by training camp. He wasn't, obviously. They expected him to be back by mid-November. He didn't want to play. The doctors cleared him to play. He still chose to sat out a whole month while the team waited for him to play. Gary Payton promised the team, he promised them that he would play in the December 26th game against the Charlotte Hornets, even if his tummy still hurt him. He told the organization, I will play in the Charlotte game on December 26th. That was a full 24 days after getting cleared medically by the doctors to play in a game. Okay, so maybe you need a couple weeks to get your conditioning back. Totally normal, right? Time for the injury report in the Charlotte game, okay? This is directly from Gary Payton. Okay, I don't want to play against the Hornets because I really don't want something to happen so I cannot play the next game against the Warriors. I want to play in the Warriors game. And if my core thing doesn't respond well against the Hornets and I have to miss the Warrior game, he would be upset. So they decided to sit him out one more game. And that is when I tweeted out that he was going to make his debut Friday. Because Tuesday morning, Gary Payton told the team and several people, this is multiple sources I had on this, he told the team, I am for sure playing on Friday, you can count on me. So I tweeted out, I was 100% confident, I would not even tweet that out if I was not 100% confident, okay?
Yep, and I can vouch for that.
He was telling everyone he was going to play. Chauncey Billups even admits this next part happened. He said so himself. Chauncey Billups went to him Thursday morning and said, you're still good playing tomorrow, right? And Gary Payton told him, nah, but I'll play Monday against the Pistons. So he doesn't play against the Warriors. The whole rehab process, the whole month he was out, he had that date circled, guaranteed the Blazers he would play. Even if he was still in pain, he would play on that day and gut it out. And I sat here, deservingly so, I was wrong, I shouldn't have tweeted out the way I tweeted it out, but all these people in Blazers media told me I was wrong, there's no way I have any sources on this, and then when he didn't play, all those people tweeted out sub-tweets with the word, oh, guess it's time to panic, he's playing Monday, idiot. Like, and I took so much crap for that, but now look, he never really wanted to play for Portland. He took the money. I mean, I guess I feel kind of vindicated. No one's ever gonna fully believe this outside of people who know that I'm telling the truth. But that's the situation that happened with Gary Payton, and there was absolutely a reason why I said it was time to panic if he didn't play in that Warriors game.
So GP2 ended up making his Blazer debut on January 2nd against the Detroit Pistons. That was also our first ever in-person watch party for the channel. This is actually the first post-game show I've ever done with Eric in person, and that's because we had a live watch party tonight. Blazers get the win over the Detroit Pistons. We also have a bunch of people, if you want to give yourselves a round of applause. People showed out. It was a pretty cool experience, and the post-game show was a lot of fun. The Blazers at this point were 19-17, but the wheels would fall off from here. The Blazers would go on a 5-game losing streak.
Grant, welcome to my life, Grant Puffer.
Wemby season.
Huh? Shut up. I'll ban you.
What if I become tank person? Would that be the final nail in your mental stability coffin?
I have not gone on tankathon.com in months, and I don't plan on.
I did the other day. It was fun. It took me 28 tries to get Wemby, but yeah.
I bet you I can get Wemby in less tries.
Wait, do we have better odds now?
What was our odds last time?
We were second to last. 13th.
So that's 1%?
Yeah.
Now we got 1.8%.
All right,
17 tries.
Let's do 20. Over under 20.
Okay, 20. Because that's my favorite number.
Chat poll. Over under 20 tries.
I
for
just
Portland
opened up
to get Wemby.
and I am not feeling good about seeing tankathon.com again.
I mean, we might as well embrace it at this point, right?
Okay, screw it. All right. Well, welcome back to your favorite segment for all you tanking advocates.
Can you imagine November 10th, us 2 months from now without like a serious injury? Us going on.
Yeah, imagine if we were doing this when we were 10-4. I'm not scrolling up from the bottom. I'm not about to do that 20 times.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna simulate it.
Oh man, we're tied for 11th now.
Hey, let's go!
One time? What? Are you serious?
Let's go, baby.
that
We
the
got
first-
Wemby. All right, guys, I'm aboard the tanking train.
Dude, we gotta stay at 11th now. Yep, it's fate.
That's a sign. All right, I apologize to everybody that wanted us to tank. All
Dude,
right.
we're gonna win a championship next year. Let's go. Don't win any more games. No.
Wemby and Nurk starting front court and Grant at the 3, and we're just gonna protect the rim, baby. Let's get it. All right, it's tank. It's a fish. Oh God. Oh no. How do we get first try?
Dude, that just gave fun.
Screw all you haters that said over for 20 tries. Why do you guys
56%.
side with Eric instead of me, man? 55% of our chat said it was going to take more than 20 tries. It took 1.
Dude, this just is going to add fuel to all the people who say, like, it doesn't matter how small of a chance, we have to go for it.
After the streak, the Blazers were 19-22. They would have back-to-back wins against the Dallas Mavericks before losing another 3 in a row against the Nuggets, 76ers, and Los Angeles Lakers, before they'd have one final bounce back in them. After being 21-25, the Blazers would win 5 of 6 games to move to 26-26. During the month of January, Damian Lillard was absolutely tearing it up. He had multiple games of 40, a game of 50, a game of 60, and at this point, people weren't arguing whether he was washed anymore. They were arguing whether this was the best that Dame had ever been. Unfortunately, it didn't lead to much team success, as after losses to the Chicago Bulls and Milwaukee Bucks, the 26-28 Blazers would then make a trade right before their next tip-off. Josh Hart, a fan favorite, the starting small forward all season long, had been traded to the New York Knicks. This was mostly due to him being a free agent this upcoming offseason and the Blazers not being willing to pay him. Jody Allen has historically had tight pockets, and unfortunately we got to see this play out once again, especially once it became clear that this Blazers team wasn't actually contenders. Josh Hart has been traded to the New York Knicks. Josh Hart is no longer a Portland Trail Blazer. Your Blazers are playing the Warriors right now. He got scratched late, was on the floor for warm-ups, and then got taken off the floor, dapped up his teammates. We knew a trade was coming. Sean Hyken tweeted out that Josh Hart had left the floor and everybody knew a trade was inevitably coming. And I had felt like Josh Hart to the Knicks was a likely option. So the Blazers are getting back a protected first-round pick and Cam Reddish.
I am happy we got a first for him, even if it's a lottery protected first.
Yes.
I think that's good value to maybe do something bigger tomorrow.
The Blazers would somehow manage to beat Golden State 125-122. After this game, Kevin Durant got traded out of the blue to the Phoenix Suns, which had been rumored for a while, but finally happened. This completely shook up the league and changed mine and Eric's evaluations of the Blazers' hope the rest of the season.
KD, no way.
No way.
What the heck is going on? We might just be streaming all night at this point.
We're screwed. We're screwed. Like, why even trying to contend? Why even just, like, let's just blow it up, dude.
No, dude. The only thing, if they gave up Mikal, this is how Cronin saves it. Get Mikal Bridges, please. New Shams tweet. Mikal is in it. Come on, Cronin. Dame loves Mikal Bridges. Please, please, just go all in for Mikal Bridges right now. But it's gonna be like we have to make it part of that other trade, man. Including Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, 4 first-round picks. Dude, get one of those guys, please, Cronin. Oh my goodness, please. So it had to be Crowder too then, right? Mikal, Cam, Crowder, I think it's pretty close. Phoenix went all in. They get a new owner and he's willing to pay whatever it takes. The Nets have like freaking Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Mikal Bridges. Can you please just get one of those guys? One of those 3. That's all I'm asking for, man.
We're not getting any of those 3.
That's all I'm asking for, please. The freaking Nets don't need 18 wings. They don't need...
The Suns are super contenders now. The Lakers are contenders now. We get Cam Reddish! I love sports. Anyway.
On trade deadline day, the Blazers made a deal for Matisse Thybulle, trading 2 second-round picks.
Oh no, we have a ball in Portland trade. We got Matisse Thybulle.
Why are we getting Matisse?
Do not
well,
tell me we gave up the first.
if we give up the first from Matisse Thybulle, you'll see me lose my mind, Eric. You'll see me rage, probably.
That's what we needed, another guard, right?
Another guard that can't shoot.
Cronin, what are they supposed to do? Olshey left them with nobody over 6'7" that can play defense. And then we get Matisse Thybulle and Gary Payton. What's the trade?
I love being a Blazer fan because it's pure comedy.
We told you guys since the draft that the Blazers were after a Thybulle type player. They get him. Yes, we got another player. We couldn't get Vando, a defensive player that can't shoot, but now we got a different one. Yeah.
And then the GP2 saga came to a close. Or so we thought. The Blazers traded Gary Payton II back to the Golden State Warriors. And here's how that trade went down.
Kevin Knox to the Warriors.
Knox
Knox may be moved on to a new team. Oh, that's probably us. GP2 for Kevin Knox in a second. Let's go. You've always wanted Kevin Knox, right?
No. What the heck are you talking about?
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Goodbye, Gary. We're still trading this?
Goodbye, GP 2 weeks.
What? Why do we
nice
need seconds?
you.
Dame doesn't need second round picks. What are we doing?
Goodbye. We are going nowhere. We got Kevin Knox! I love being a Blazer fan! Eric! I was joking! I don't want Kevin Knox! Why? No! I was joking!
Oh my god, we could have had James Wiseman! We could have been talking at least we have Wiseman to potentially have this be like a huge high-risk, high-reward trade deadline.
Yeah, why did we... Wait, so they traded Wiseman for 5 seconds, and then they traded 5 seconds for GP2.
We could have literally just traded GP2 for James Wiseman.
What? Yeah,
we literally could have done that. It was on the table. We could have done that. We let Detroit have Wiseman so we could get Kevin frickin' Knox.
Shortly after this trade, the Warriors opened up a grievance against the Trailblazers, saying that they had hid an injury regarding GP2. That grievance has since been dropped, and there is a bunch of different theories as to what the deal could have been. The theory that I believe is that GP2 hid an injury from the Blazers so that he could get traded, ended up on the Warriors, and they found that injury and thought the Blazers had hid it from them, but the Blazers never do in the first place. In short, all the drama surrounding Gary Payton II in Portland Portland has made him one of the most hated Trailblazers of recent times. At this point, GP2 is probably in Raymond Felton territory for me. Defense was still a major issue. There was multiple problems for that. We will have videos this offseason talking about what specific problems those were, but after multiple seasons of porous defense, the Blazers were expected to be better, and that simply was not the case. Their offense was still borderline elite, and that's why the Blazers were able to stay in touch for 500 for the good part of the season. However, the wheels would fall off after the All-Star break. Before that, there would be another in-person watch party on February 13th as Matisse Thybulle and Cam Reddish made their debuts against the Los Angeles Lakers. In that game, Matisse Thybulle shot 4 for 6 from 3, giving Blazer fans some hope that somehow Portland would magically help him shoot better. And there were still a lot of fans holding out hope for the Blazers to go on a run this season. They had one more game before the All-Star break, a game in which they could have gotten back to 500. A home game against the Washington Wizards, and this game would be a signal for what was to come the rest of the season, as the Blazers lost 126 to 101.
So this game sucked, Eric.
Doubly.
Literally and figuratively limp into the All-Star break. Nurkic hurt. Grant has a concussion. Now Anthony Simons gets hurt tonight, unfortunately. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. The All-Star break saw Damian Lillard win the three-point contest, which was pretty cool. He also hit the final shot in the All-Star game once again. But coming out of the All-Star break, there was some confusion. The Blazers were stuck on a plane for 7 hours. Damian Lillard dropped a rap song, and then Damian Lillard and Jeremy Grant didn't play in the first game out of the All-Star break against the Sacramento Kings. The Blazers said it was due to the travel situation, while the Blazers still acted like they were ready to pursue a playoff spot the rest of the season. Damian Lillard and Jeremy Grant resting in the first game out of an All-Star break seemed like a signal that this team was intent upon tanking.
Ultimately, they were just had much more talent on the floor tonight, and the guys played hard tonight. It's a tough situation with the snow thing. But it was pretty apparent that the Blazers had no intentions of wanting to win this game.
Yeah, rough game. I mean, tanking is cool, I guess. Winning is cool, I guess. We're kind of stuck in the middle, which means that there's no downside, I guess. Anyway, in the following game, the Blazers would get a 131-114 win against the Houston Rockets, a game in which Damian Lillard dropped a franchise record 71 points.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Blazers Uprise post-game show here on an historic night, Eric. Damian Lillard drops 71 points, a new career high, of course, a new franchise high, in a historical performance, and we probably just witnessed the greatest performance in Blazer history, which is getting harder and harder to top as Dame keeps outdoing himself, and outdoing himself, and outdoing himself.
Definitely, if you're saying regular season, I think that probably was.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
Hard to argue with that, yep.
This led to more confusion, as a lot of fans thought, okay, well, this dude is absolutely possessed and is going to lead the Blazers to a playoff spot. There's no way he can't. It was almost impossible at this point to argue that Damian Lillard wasn't having his best season ever. He was averaging over 30 points per game, and it was on phenomenal efficiency. We will have a player preview looking at Dame coming up, but this 71-point performance from Dame was truly special. However, this was the last good moment of the season. The Blazers would lose 3 straight against the Warriors, Pelicans, and Hawks, and then would pick up back-to-back wins against the Magic and Pistons. At this point, we were embracing the tank. The win against the Magic made it seem like the Blazers were going to have a hard time getting 5th best odds in the draft lottery, as the Magic were the team that was in 5th and the Blazers were trying to catch them. There was a cool moment to finish off that game as Nasir Little, whose hometown is close to Orlando, Florida, hit a go-ahead 3 in the final minute. However, this was pretty much it for the rest of the season. After beating the Detroit Pistons on March 6th, the Blazers would only have 2 wins the rest of the regular season. From March 8th to March 19th, they would lose 6 in a row, including a tough, heartbreaking loss against the 76ers on the road, in which Joel Embiid hit a game winner. And it also included losses against the Celtics twice, the Knicks, the Pelicans, and the Clippers. At this point, the Blazers were 31-40. Damian Lillard was still playing, but everybody was speculating as to when he would get shut down. There was rumors from reputable sources that would happen soon, and Damian Lillard brought up the idea of having to put his pride aside and look at what a game of chess would look like. And if we're talking chess, instead of pawns on the board, it was tanks, because chess in this instance means tanking. The Blazers would beat the Utah Jazz on March 22nd behind 30 points from Damian Lillard, and then Lillard would get shut down. Anthony Simons would get shut down, Jeremy Grant had been shut down, Yusuf Nurkic wouldn't play again, and this was the start of the Blazers doing just what they did last year and tanking the rest of the season. During the final 3 weeks of the season, the Blazers would sign some 10-day guys. Skylar Mays has looked good, Jonathan Williams has looked solid, Kevin Knox actually looks good as well, which was a bit of a surprise, but also this has been a tanking Blazers team. We saw players look good last year for a tanking Blazers team. Josh Hart averaged 20 a game last year. He's obviously no longer a Blazer. So while it is nice to see guys get a chance and play well, you can't put too much stock into individual performances on a tanking team. Or can you? Because Shaedon Sharpe absolutely broke out and gave the Blazers a little bit more hope for the future. Over the final 10 games of the season, Sharpe averaged around 24 to 25 points and did it efficiently, shooting the 3-ball well, and showed major improvements in his dribble drive game, his passing, and playmaking. This has led us up to the point where the Blazers are now. They have the 5th best odds going into the draft lottery, as they were able to pass the Orlando Magic. They have a 10.5% chance at one Victor Wembanyama. Now the debates are starting about whether or not Shaedon Sharpe should get the starting shooting guard spot over Anthony Simons next year. Meanwhile, it seems like there's a lot of pressure on the Portland front office to truly go all in this offseason. What that looks like, I have no idea. The draft lottery will be a huge deal for this team, and the upcoming offseason looks like one of the most important offseasons in Blazers history. Damian Lillard has remained loyal to the Trailblazers, but it's about time that this team gets back to the playoffs at the very least. That is going to be a bit of a challenge. The Blazers need to get lucky this offseason, but they also need to make smart moves. The tenures of both Joe Cronin and Chauncey Billups up to this point have been questionable at best, and this offseason seems like a true litmus test for Joe Cronin as GM. Can Joe Cronin get this floundering Blazers team back to a playoffs? They had made it many years in a row before Damian Lillard's injury last season. Can Chauncey Billups figure things out? There's a lot of questions surrounding this Trailblazers franchise heading into the offseason. However, the Blazers have put themselves in a position to truly do something special. Shaedon Sharpe is a great young trade asset or a future Trailblazer star. Anthony Simons is still young and had a solid season, averaging 21 a game. Jeremy Grant was very solid, and although he's a free agent, I do expect him back in Portland on probably a bit of an overpay. And Damian Lillard was looking like his old self. The Blazers have a 40% chance at a top 4 pick in this upcoming NBA draft, so the Blazers are either building a brighter future or they truly have the trade assets to go out and get Damian Lillard a second star. We'll see how that goes as we head into the offseason, and we'll see how drastically different this Blazers team is 6 months from now. Once again, thank you to Bet Online for sponsoring us all season long. Use the promo code BELIEVE for a 50% reward bonus, and thank you for taking this journey with me and being there on post-game shows, picks against the spread segments, and so forth. Now we're on to the next chapter. As always, peace out, go Blazers, it's time for the offseason.